Hello everyone, it is Teresa from Teresa's Silhouette Spot for Art, where I love sharing art from my heart and teaching you how to create a little joy in your life through some simple and fun art projects. Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to another Halloween design. So we are going to turn this into this. Isn't that cute? So let me turn you guys around and we will get started. So I have my tracer. I put a little piece of tape here to make a hinge. I'm going to grab this piece of well-used graphite paper, shiny side down. I'm going to place it on my canvas, and then I'm going to close this back up. Now, I eyeball my design when I put it on. If you want to get a ruler, you're not comfortable eyeballing it, that is totally up to you. I am using a stylus to do the tracing. And again, if you want to use a pencil, a pen, the end of your brush, whatever you want. I'm going to have this one go off as well. There we go. Do my spider web. I don't think I'm going to add my lines. You can add your lines for your spider's legs. I'm going to leave mine just the round part for placement. But if you need to do your spider legs, go right ahead. This is probably even something that if you wanted to just sketch it on freehand, you could. I would suggest using a pencil or a piece of chalk. I am actually going to outline when I'm done with this part with Sharpie, because this is going to be a black silhouette after I do the background, and we want to be able to see all our lines really, really well. Now I'm just taking a peek. That's why I don't tape down my complete tracer. I just put it down with a hinge so I can keep my hand on it and look up to make sure I have all the lines I need, which I do. So we're going to get rid of this, and we're going to get rid of this, and we're going to get started. This is an easy painting. This painting has 4 colors, you guys. Black, white, orange, and yellow. Easy peasy. Let me get my Sharpie out. When you use your Sharpie, you don't want to do too much pressure, and you want to kind of use it on its side. I only use Sharpies when I'm doing these black silhouette projects, but I still have ruined many a Sharpie when I've had to do these kind of designs and trace canvases. I want to use my Sharpie on the side, not up and down. You'll end up pushing it right into the center and ruining your Sharpie. So I use my Sharpie up and down, and then I don't put like an extreme amount. I mean, I don't use it up and down. I use it on the side, and I don't use an extreme amount of pressure. Just light pressure. And again, these lines do not have to be perfect. Everything is going to get fixed and covered up with black paint. This just helps guide us so we know where our design is. Even I made his tail a little pointy when I painted. I'll probably go back in and round that off a little bit. Like that. Okay, done with that. Let's put that aside. All right, I'm going to get out my, it's about a 1-inch flat brush that I have here. Dry it off really well. And I'm going to go into my white. And when we load our brush with paint, we don't want to just dip in and move on. We want to put a little bit of pressure on our brush. We want the fibers to spread out like that. Want them to spread out, and when you put some pressure on your brush, they spread out, and you want the fibers to get nice and full of paint. Okay, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start with a white circle, and we want it to be wet. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit of a glare. There's my white circle. I'm going to go pick up some yellow, and to the outside of my circle I'm going to add some yellow. Now once I have pretty much cleaned off my brush of the yellow, I'll come back into the center because we want our center to be as bright as possible, but we still want it to look a little bit yellow. So there we go. Okay. Now I'm just going to pick up some some yellow, and I'm going to keep working in a circular motion outward. It's okay if I get some on my tree. It's okay if I go over my cat. That's why we did them in Sharpie. And now I'm going to pick up yellow and orange, and I'm going to continue going in this circular motion. I want the orange to the outside, but then I move back in to blend a little bit of orange into our yellow. We don't want real harsh lines. So now every time I'm going to pick up some orange, I'm going to pick up some yellow, and I'm coming in here with the curve. I'm moving from my shoulder, not from my wrist. And this way we're getting these big, nice bands of color. You don't really want to completely over blend. You want to see orange, you want to see yellow, you want to see mixes of orange and yellow. Sometimes I'm going to pick up white and add some white in there, and the white is going to make different colors of orange and yellow. And we just want to continue. The most important part is that all the colors radiate out in a circular motion. Now once I get down here, I don't have to keep going because that's going to be black, but I do want the background in between the fence to be filled in, so I'm giving that a curve, and I'm going to go back up with my yellow and move upward again. Pick up some yellow, pick up some orange, pick up some white, you could paint this project 5 times, and 5 times it'll be completely different, and that's okay. It's really virtually impossible to blend paint the same way over and over again. That's okay. Now I'm just going to pick up some paint on the chisel edge, and I just want to add some bands of color in here. So instead of pushing my brush flat, I'm standing it up. And this way we have some nice, fresh, clean stripes of color in there. I'm going to do the same thing with the white. If you don't like it, you can always go on the flat again and reblend it in. Which I liked mine, but I'm just showing you guys how easy it is to then just go back and start over. Go back with the orange. Okay, now I'm going to pick up orange again. And again, I'm just adding in. The important thing is that we keep following the curve that we started to begin with. So everything is in a circular motion, working its way out from the center, and this is our center over here where our bright moon is. Okay. This one's a little too white in there, so it's not going to matter because down there we're going to have a lot of black going on anyway. Okay, get that out. All right, now I want to take, while my brush is dirty, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do the edges. If you watched me paint before, if you're in my group, Teresa's Spot for Step-by-Step Acrylic Art, I always do my edges all different. Sometimes I use them to blend and wrap around like this one. Sometimes I do them a completely opposite color. I'll just pick one color from the design and do my entire edge like that. And then sometimes I put a fancy design on them. I'm going to wash my brush, and I'm going to get a little smaller brush. This is about a 1/4 inch flat. Rinse it out. I'm going to start doing my black. Now if your orange is still a little wet, you can wait and just start working on where it's dry. I don't mind, because if you pick up some of the orange and the yellow, it's just making a little bit of highlights anyway, which we're going to add at the end. So you can start where your art is dry or start wherever you want. Up to you. And I'm just going in. I got a wonky canvas here. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to start filling in this entire silhouette with the black paint. This is why it didn't matter if you got some orange in there or some yellow in there. It didn't matter if your Sharpie lines were perfect or not, because now we're coming in here and we're cleaning all that up with this smaller brush with some fresh black paint. If you wanted to, you can take your brush and you can add a few more branches. Totally up to you. And I'm going to let that dry a little bit, then I'll probably go back over it. I'm going to move down here to my fence. Now I know all of this is black, but I want my brush strokes to be different. I want my brush strokes for the bottom part of my fence, or the horizontal parts of my fence, I want my brush strokes to be horizontal. And then for the vertical part of my fence, I want my brush strokes to be vertical. So I'm not just coming in here with one big brush and filling everything in. I'm doing it as if it was separate colors. I like to do the horizontal first. Then I'm going to come back in here and put the vertical ones over the top and pull down with my vertical strokes. Now if you want to draw yours, you can. This is a video. You can stop, start, pause, fast forward, whatever you need to do. The video is here for you to do whatever it is you need to do. If you don't need to follow it when I traced it, you can fast forward through that part. If you don't need to watch me filling in all the black here, you could fast forward through all this part and just watch as you need it. All right, so we're gonna let this dry a little bit. I want to just wrap my fence around and do my edges where my black is. Again, if you wanted to hit yours with the dryer before you went and added your black, you can. I'll probably touch up my black a little bit at the end. And right now I'm just going to do the sides. I have a heat gun, or I use a hair dryer. It's the same hair dryer I used to use for my hair, but I don't need it anymore for my hair. So it just hangs out in here or comes to my paint parties with me. Okay. Again, if you are not in my group, it's Teresa's Spot for step-by-step acrylic art. I do a complete tutorial in that group once a month. I provide the supply list and a tracer, and then we do a step-by-step class every month. And then again, those are videos, they stay in the group, and you can watch them again and again. Just remember that all my designs and my videos are for personal use only, for you to paint for yourself, get a little joy from art, and not used for paint parties. If you need to switch to a smaller brush to do your cat, feel free to do so. I am actually going to switch to a smaller brush now because that one is way too big for his ears. I have a little extra paint here. I'm just going to fix the end. There we go. Okay, and then I am always turning my canvas around. You will rarely ever see me painting on an easel. I like to move my canvas any and every which way I can to have the most success. I'm doing the little spider here, I'm filling them in. And now I'm just going to do his legs. When you use your liner brush, you want to have a nice point on it. I'm giving a little bit of twirl. And I'm going to come in here and we have to do 4 legs to each side. Now if you wanted to trace these on, you can. I didn't think it was necessary, but it's up to you. Okay, there we have our spider, and here we have our little kitty cat reaching up to play. I just want to fix some of these lines a little bit. When I do these silhouettes, I like my black to be nice and crisp and sharp on the edge. I do not like to have dry edges, like where your brush is running out of paint and then it's a little bumpy. I like them to be nice and crisp. There we go. And so you can see the difference. That's why I feel like it's important to have your brush strokes going the right way. So you can actually tell the difference. Even though everything is black, my uprights stand out a little bit. You get the side rails stand out a little bit. Up here, some of my orange is wet, so it added like some natural highlighting in here and down here. So I like that, that's fine. I must be like the messiest painter ever. Okay, now we're gonna add some stars to our night sky. I'm gonna pick up some white here. Again, when I use my liner brush and I want thin lines, I give it a twirl. I splashed a little black in there, but I'm not going to worry about it. So when we do these stars, it's a combination of an X and a cross. So we just go opposite. So whichever you do the cross first, and then you do the X, or the X first, and then the cross, totally up to you. You can make these however big you want, however small you want. Put as many as you want. I'll probably do about 7 or 8. Well, we don't want to have 8, so I'll probably do 7 or 9. And they're just random. I don't want to put any in front of my moon. But I'm just randomly putting them around in the sky. Then I'm going to use my brush and I'm dabbing some random ones. These are the ones that are out in the distance, far, you can't see. Some of my brush is getting more pressure The more pressure I do, the bigger they are. The less pressure I do, the smaller they are. Then there's just little tiny dots. And these like a twinkling starry night out there. Okay. Sticking with my white, I'm going to start doing some highlighting. And we want to highlight the sides where our moon is facing. So I'm using my liner brush, a little bit of white paint, and these little tiny strokes. These strokes are about 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. They overlap. They don't have to be perfect. And we're just adding a little bit of glare where the moon will be shining off the branches and the cat and the fence. It's okay if you pick up some black because it just gives your highlight, some of it not as bright, and then some of it a little bit brighter. The fresher the white, the brighter it is. But that's okay if you have a little bit of gray, because of course the light is not all going to be exactly the same. So we're just doing it on the top parts of our fence, and then the part where the moon would hit. And if you see, I have my little pointer finger dangling around out here. I'm using light pressure, little tiny strokes. I want to completely follow the tree down here. And I'm even going to pull my tree a little bit into this little hill, so you can see where the tree is, where the hill is, where the fence is. And I'm going to do the same thing to my cat. Don't want it to be too much. And then a little bit on my spider. This is a really good way if you made your spider web from the tree branch way too thick. I'm going to unglob my brush a little bit. You made your spider web way too thick. When you go and put the white on here, that thins it up a little bit. I cleaned my brush, and now I'm just going in and gently adding some white highlights to my spider's legs. And there we go. I think I'm going to add a little bit more white down here. I want my hill to be a little bit more curvy. And then I'm going to add a little bit of detail to my tree. Not too much. There we go. And there you go. Isn't that cute? Cute, 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 cute. So let me turn you guys around. And there we go. So this is my other one, twinsies. So I hope you enjoyed this painting. If you're not already following me, I can be found at Teresa Silhouette Spot for Art, or my group at Teresa Spot for step-by-step acrylic art. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.